here at PAX Prime 2011. First off, I'm going to kick things off in a second, but I wanted to thank everyone for attending this year and making it the 10th anniversary celebration. Truly special to each and every one of us at 343. I'd also like to thank IGN for being our media partner this weekend, streaming the panels, posting them pretty much immediately afterwards on their site. And to those who couldn't attend in person, we want to welcome you joining us at home online. So my name is David Ellis. I'm content producer at 343 Industries, and immediately to my left.
Together. It's a team that brings a lot of talent and a lot of past accomplishments, and I think we all came together and we were so excited about the things that we set out to do. It's been a challenge to not be able to talk about it. This thing that we've been hiding and keeping under our covers is finally let loose.
This was a really important E3 for us, both as a studio and also as the first announcement of Halo 4.
I mean, we've been building the background and the fabric for this story for years.
What does it feel like for him to come back, for Master Chief to come back, and for us to really enter this new generation of his journey?
There's a lot of people out there that may not have seen the legendary ending of Halo 3, may not know that there is still a story to be told.
Every novel that you've read in the last couple of years, every comic book, the terminals in Halo Anniversary Edition, everything is feeding directly into the story for the next Halo trilogy.
It's daunting. You've got this franchise that means so much to so many people. It's got 10 years of history behind it, incredible stories, incredible experiences, and we have to live up to all of that.
The importance of the trilogy is we have this whole plan that involves, we want 3 of these things. We have an incredibly rich story to tell, right? And what it means for the Chief to evolve, it's just going to take that long.
Nothing is being done sort of haphazardly. We're always keeping that eye on the horizon of where we want this story to go.
Gathered a huge pool of talent of every stripe, and all of those people are just channeling this incredible amount of passion and energy and talent into a thing that they already love.
The pressure that this team puts on itself to be great and to try and achieve excellence that's the primary engine.
For some of us on the panel today, but I want to start things off by asking Frank, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the history of 343, why it was created, and what it's been like to keep quiet all this time.
Yeah, so 343 started technically about 3 years ago. Bonnie Ross, our general manager, was tasked with already publishing ODST Reach with Bungie. And we knew that it was going to be a transition, and we knew that we needed a studio to continue the Halo franchise, and Bonnie Ross was tasked with setting up that studio. And most of the people sitting at this table were there at the start of that, and were the core group around which the studio formed. And so some of you are in the audience, but there's a lot of people back in the studio, 200 or so people working on Halo 4, and have been for a couple of years now. And as it was mentioned in the video, it's been hard to hide that light under a bushel because everyone's so passionate and excited about the project. But today is really, in some ways, the debut of the studio and the 200 creative, engineering, art, audio, marketing. I mean, just a huge force of people working on Halo 4.
Next question is for Josh. I mean, some people were kind of a little surprised when we announced that Halo 4 was the first part of the new trilogy. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about why we decided to go ahead and announce 3 games instead of 1.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was important for us to kind of signal to the fans and the community what our intentions were, our commitment to this story that we want to tell. And, when we first started working on laying the plans for the Reclaimer trilogy a little over 2 years ago, we kind of knew exactly the story that we wanted to tell, and it's really important for us because a lot of what this trilogy is going to focus on is exploring the character of Master Chief and what it means to bring him back and really getting a little bit closer to that character than we've ever experienced before in any of the past games. I think there's a lot of depth to John that exists primarily in a lot of the other fiction that we really felt we wanted to explore more deeply and lay a journey for him that would transform and evolve him as a character and man.
Kiki, I want to ask you a little bit about kind of building the team there at 343 from the ground up. What are kind of the people we were looking for, and let's talk a little bit about the culture of the studio there.
Yeah, I mean, really there was two goals. One was to build a team, obviously, to create Halo 4, and the other was to really lay the foundation for the studio and really define its culture. So, I would say at a foundational level, there was the really finding the level of technical and creative expertise, really just to execute on the legacy of the Halo game. But then there was also sort of the maturity and frankly the guts to take on this kind of challenge, which was take on this amazing legacy and define the next 10 years. And so I think from a team perspective, those pieces were really important. And then from a studio and culture perspective, it was how do we find that sort of deep talent who also has a collaborative spirit and I would say a craftsman approach so that we could really look at building a trilogy and building a studio for the long term. And of course passion, right? Pure passion, not just for what Halo has been, but also for what it could be and how we define that. I think both Kenneth and Tajin certainly embody this. They are both industry best, but they also are going to bring their own unique creative perspective. And so that's sort of going to breathe a different life into really what all of you will experience in John's next story.
Frank, we talked a little bit about 343 as a game studio, but we're also much more than that. We're responsible for all things in the Halo universe, whether it's books, toys, videos.
I mean, Halo 4 is obviously the game we're here to talk about, and it is, as you say, a really big franchise, but everything that we make in that franchise, whether it's comic book, whether it's a novel, whether even action figures, they all feed directly to the games. I mean, you guys have probably seen the covers for Greg Bear's Cryptum and Primordium. So Greg worked with our artists, and Sparth in particular, to create concepts that come, and this is not giving too much away, but those cover images come directly from Halo 4 concept work, and they are germane and specific to the work that Greg is doing. And that's an example of how every single story that we're telling, from Cryptum to Glasslands and beyond, is feeding the game. Everything pours into the game eventually, and people love the extended franchise, and we just want to make it a richer and more meaningful experience for them when they do encounter those little notes.
The visual style of Halo has been very important. There's a visual vocabulary that's become familiar to the millions of Halo fans around the world. Kenneth, when you were tasked with taking up this undertaking to bring Halo to life once again, Master Chief, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you wanted to approach creating the look of this new trilogy.
There was a lot of inputs initially. I think the thing that really brought most of us together as a group was a love for the deep fiction that the universe has, and trying to find ways that we could, in a very genuine fashion, bubble that up through the art. The art differentiates itself, I think, from other games in that we're trying to carry the emotional tone of the player's experience throughout the game, and that's been actually very exciting. I think another larger input was just the understanding that the fan base and the people who've invested in this universe have been in this universe for 10 years now. They've grown up, and the art and the experience that they're having needs to mature too.
So the familiarity sometimes breeds we're protective about that a little bit. So I got to ask the question to everyone. It's been asked since E3. What's up with the Chief's armor? Give me the scoop.
Well, actually, a lot of it we can, when we initially started Chief, and I'm loopy on decongestants right now, so I will make a confession to this team right now. The Chief you saw in the teaser is not the final Chief. We understand how important Chief is to this universe and the people who play him, and we're probably on iteration number 4 right now. There's a lot of love and investment in making sure that he's the best that he could possibly be. I think the focus for him specifically was really wanting the player to feel like him. And sell that fantasy of, I'm a bioengineered superhero wearing 800 pounds of tank and jet fighter. And hopefully once we cross the finish line and you guys are playing it, that will reach you.
Since we haven't revealed